Black Panther comics. The Black Panther is a fictional superhero appearing in American comic books published by Marvel Comics. Created by writer-editor Stan Lee and penciler and co-plotter Jack Kirby. He first appeared in Fantastic Four 2. He is the first black superhero in mainstream American comics, debuting years before such early African-American superheroes as Marvel Comics' The Falcon and Luke Cage, and DC Comics' Green Lantern John Stewart and Black Lightning. The character is usually depicted as the king and protector of Wakanda, a fictional African nation. Chadwick Boseman portrays the Black Panther in Captain America: Civil War, and is set to return in Black Panther and Avengers: Infinity War, set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Name. The Black Panther's name predates the October 1966 founding of the Black Panther Party, though not the Black Panther logo of the party's predecessor, the Lowndes County Freedom Organization, nor the segregated World War II Black Panthers Tank Battalion. He is the first black superhero in mainstream comic books. Virtually no black heroes were created before him, and none with actual superpowers. These included the characters in the single-issue, low-distribution all-Negro comics, Waku, Prince of the Bantu, who starred in his own feature in the omnibus title Jungle Tales, from Marvel's 1950s predecessor, Atlas Comics, and the Dell Comics Western character Lobo, the first black person to star in his own comic book. Previous non-caricatured black supporting characters in comics include U.S. Army Infantry Private Gabriel Jones of Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos. Co-creator Stan Lee recounted that the name was inspired by a pulp adventure hero who has a Black Panther as a helper, because many people mistakenly assumed the name referenced the Black Panther Party. The character was briefly renamed the Black Leopard, which Lee said was reverted, because neither the readers nor the creators cared for the new name. Jack Kirby's original concept art for Black Panther used the concept name, Cold Tiger. Publication history. Following his debut in Fantastic Four 2-53, and subsequent guest appearance in Fantastic Four Annual and with Captain America in Tales of Suspense 7-99, the Black Panther journeyed from the fictional African nation of Wakanda to New York City, New York to join the titular American superhero team in the Avengers 2, appearing in that comic for the next few years. During his time with the Avengers, he made solo guest appearances in 3 issues of Daredevil, and fought Doctor Doom in Astonishing Tales -7. In that supervillain's short-lived starring feature, he later returned in a guest appearance capacity in Fantastic Four 19, during which he briefly tried using the name Black Leopard to avoid connotations invoking the black political party, the Black Panthers. He received his first starring feature with Jungle Action, a reprint of the Panther-centric story in the Avengers 2. A new series began running the following issue, written by Don McGregor, with art by pencilers Rich Buckler, Gil Kane, and Billy Graham, and which gave inkers Klaus Janson and Bob McLeod some of their first professional exposure. The critically acclaimed series ran in Jungle Action -24. One now common format McGregor pioneered was that of the self-contained, multi-issue story arc. The first, Panther's Rage, ran through the first 13 issues. Critic Jason Sachs has called the arc Marvel's first graphic novel, 3 cover art by John Byrne and Dan Adkins. The second and final arc, Panther vs. the Klan, ran as mostly 17-page stories in Jungle Action 9-24, except for issue 3, a reprint of Daredevil 9, in which the Black Panther guest starred. The subject matter of the Ku Klux Klan was considered controversial in the Marvel offices at the time. creating difficulties for the creative team. African-American writer-editor Dwayne McDuffie said of the jungle action, Black Panther feature, though popular with college students, the overall sales of jungle action were low, and Marvel relaunched the Black Panther in a self-titled series, bringing in the character's co-creator Jack Kirby, newly returned to Marvel after having decamped to rival DC Comics for a time, as writer, penciler, and editor. However, Kirby wanted to work on new characters and was unhappy at being assigned a series starring a character he had already worked with extensively. He left the series after only 12 issues and was replaced by Ed Hannigan, Jerry Bingham, and Roger Stern. Black Panther ran 15 issues. Due to the series cancellation, the contents of what would have been Black Panther 6-18 were published in Marvel Premiere 1-53. A 4-issue miniseries, Black Panther Volume 2, was written by Peter B. Gillis and penciled by Dennis Cowan. McGregor revisited his Panther saga with Gene Colan in Panther's Quest, published as 25 8-page installments within the bi-weekly anthology series Marvel Comics Presents. He later teamed with artist Dwayne Turner in the square-bound miniseries Black Panther, Panther's Prey. McGregor conceived a fifth arc in his Black Panther saga, titled Panther's Vows, but it failed to get off the ground. Writer Christopher Priest's and penciler Mark Texeira's 1998 series The Black Panther Volume 3 utilized Eric Killmonger, Venom, and other characters introduced in Panther's Rage, together with new characters such as State Department Attorney Everett Ross, the Black Panther's adopted brother, Hunter, and the Panther's protege, Queen Divine Justice. The Priest-Teixeira series was under the Marvel Knights imprint in its first year. Priest said the creation of character Ross contributed heavily to his decision to write the series. I realized I could use Ross to bridge the gap between the African culture that the Black Panther mythos is steeped in, and the predominantly white readership that Marvel sells to, adding that in his opinion, the Black Panther had been misused in the years after his creation. The last 13 issues saw the main character replaced by a multiracial New York City police officer named Casper Cole, with T'Challa relegated to a supporting character. This Black Panther, who became the White Tiger, was placed in the series The Crew, running concurrently with the final few Black Panther issues. The Crew was cancelled with issue. In 2005, Marvel began publishing Black Panther Volume 4, which ran 41 issues. It was initially written by filmmaker Reginald Hudlin and penciled by John Romita, Jr. Hudlin said he wanted to add street cred to the title, although he noted that the book was not necessarily or primarily geared toward an African-American readership. As influences for his characterization of the character, Hudlin has cited comic character Batman, film director Spike Lee, and music artist Sean Combs. Black Panther Volume 5 launched in February 2009, with Hudlin again scripting, introducing a successor Black Panther, T'Challa's sister Shuri. Hudlin co-wrote issue with Jonathan Mayberry, who then became the new writer, joined by artist Will Conrad. The Panther was also a featured player, with members of the Fantastic Four and the X-Men, in the Doctor Doom-based 6-issue miniseries Doomga. T'Challa then accepted an invitation from Matt Murdock, the superhero Daredevil, to become the new protector of New York City's Hell's Kitchen neighborhood. He became the lead character in Daredevil beginning with issue 13. When that series was retitled Black Panther, The Man Without Fear, under writer David Liss and artist Francesco Francavilla, he took on the identity of Mr. Okonkwo, an immigrant from the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and becomes the owner of a small diner in order to be close to the people. A new Black Panther series written by Ta-Nehisi Coates and drawn by Brian Stelfreeze, was launched in 2016. Early life and background. 2. Debut of the short-lived Cowl Mask. Art by John Buscema. The Black Panther is the ceremonial title given to the chief of the Panther tribe of the advanced African nation of Wakanda. In addition to ruling the country, he is also chief of its various tribes. The Panther habit is a symbol of office and is used even during diplomatic missions. The Panther is a hereditary title, but one still must earn it. In the distant past, a meteorite made of the vibration-absorbing mineral vibranium crashed in Wakanda and was unearthed, reasoning that outsiders would exploit Wakanda for this valuable resource. The ruler King T'Chaka, like his father and other Panthers before him, concealed his country from the outside world. T'Chaka's first wife Nyami died while in labor with T'Challa, and his second wife Ramonda was taken prisoner by Anton Pretorius during a visit to her homeland of South Africa, so for most of his childhood T'Challa was raised by his father alone. T'Chaka was murdered by the adventurer Ulysses Klaue in an attempt to seize the vibranium mound. With his people still in danger, a young T'Challa used Klaue's sound weapon on Klaue and his men, shattering Klaue's right hand and forcing him to flee. T'Challa was next in line to be the king of Wakanda and Black Panther, but until he was ready to become the leader of the nation, his uncle Cian successfully passed the trials to become the Black Panther. While on his Wakandan walkabout rite of passage, T'Challa met and fell in love with apparent orphan teen Ororo Munroe, who would grow up to become the X-Men member Storm. The two broke off the relationship due to his desire to avenge his father's death, and to become the type of man who could suitably lead Wakanda. But they would see each other over the years when they could. T'Challa earned the title and attributes of the Black Panther by defeating the various champions of the Wakandan tribes. One of his first acts was to disband and exile the Hatchet-Zeres, the Wakandan secret police, and its leader, his adopted brother Hunter the White Wolf. He sold off small portions of vibranium to scientific institutions around the world, amassing a fortune which he used to arm himself with advanced technology. Later, to keep peace, he picked Dora Milaje from rival tribes to serve as his personal guard and ceremonial wives in training. He then studied abroad for a time before returning to his kingship. In his first published appearance, the now-adult T'Challa invites the American superhero team the Fantastic Four to Wakanda, then attacks and neutralizes them individually in order to test himself to see if he is ready to battle Klaue, who had replaced his shattered right hand with a sonic weapon. After the ruler makes proper amends to the superhero team, the four befriend and help T'Challa, and he in turn aids them against the supervillain the Psycho Man. T'Challa later joins the Avengers, beginning a long association with that superhero team. He first battles the Man-8 while with the group, and then meets the American singer Monica Lynn, with whom he becomes romantically involved. He helps the Avengers defeat the Second Sons of the Serpent, and then reveals his true identity on American television. He encounters Daredevil, and reveals to him that he had deduced Daredevil's true identity. Return to Wakanda. The Panther eventually leaves his active Avengers membership to return to Wakanda on the brink of civil war, bringing Lynn with him. After defeating would-be usurper Eric Killmonger and his minions, the Panther ventures to the American South to battle the Ku Klux Klan. He later gains possession of the mystical time-shifting artifacts known as King Solomon's Frogs. These produce an alternate version of T'Challa from a future 10 years hence, a merry, telepathic panther with a terminal brain aneurysm, whom T'Challa places in cryogenic stasis. Later, while searching for and finding his stepmother Ramonda, The Panther contends with South African authorities during apartheid. T'Challa eventually proposes and becomes engaged to Monica Lynn, though the couple never marry. Years later, the Panther accepts a Washington, D.C. envoy, Everett K. Ross, and faces multiple threats to Wakanda's sovereignty. Ross assists him in many of these threats. In gratitude, the Panther often risks much for Ross in return. The first threat he and Ross encounter is X-Con, an alliance of rogue intelligence agents backing a coup led by the Reverend Achebe. Afterward, Killmonger resurfaces with a plot to destroy Wakanda's economy. This forces T'Challa to nationalize foreign companies. Killmonger then defeats him in ritual combat, thus inheriting the role of Black Panther, but falls into a coma upon eating the heart-shaped herb, poisonous to anyone outside the royal bloodline, which had a hereditary immunity to its toxic effects. T'Challa preserves his rival's life rather than allowing him to die. Later, T'Challa finds he has a brain aneurysm like his alternate future self, and succumbs to instability and hallucinations. After his mental state almost causes tribal warfare, the Panther hands power to his council and hides in New York City. There he mentors police officer Casper Cole, an experience that gives T'Challa the strength to face his illness, reclaim his position, and return to active membership in the Avengers, whom he helps secure special United Nations status. Volume 4, Marriage and Passing the Mantle, and the Black Panther. Promotional art for Black Panther 8 by Thumb. T'Challa recounts the story of his ascension as the Black Panther. He defeated his uncle during the Black Panther celebration, and during his walkabout when he met and fell in love with a street urchin named Ororo in Cairo, Egypt. Unbeknownst to him, the US government is planning a coup in order to get access to the vibranium. They allow Claw to recruit a team of villains in order to support his totalitarian neighbor, the Nigandir. Claw recruits Rhino, Black Knight, Batroc the Leaper, and Radioactive Man to lead the invasion. The US government then deploys an army of Deathlocks to support T'Challa and justify an invasion, but T'Challa killed Claw, and Storm wipes out the Deathlock army in a hurricane. T'Challa then helps his old flame Ororo Munroe reunite with her surviving family members in Africa and the US. He shortly afterward proposes, and the two are married in a large Wakandan ceremony attended by many superheroes. One of the couple's first tasks is to embark on a diplomatic tour, in which they visit the Inhumans, Dr. Doom, the President of the United States, and Namor, with only that last ending well. After the death of Bill Foster, the Black Panther, and Storm side with Captain America's anti-registration forces. During the end battle between both sides, the Wakandan embassy in Manhattan is heavily damaged, though no Wakandans are hurt. After the confrontation, the Panther and Storm briefly fill in for vacationing Fantastic Four members Reed and Sue Richards before returning to Wakanda. Upon returning to Wakanda alone, leaving Storm in New York to aid the X-Men, Black Panther faces Eric Killmonger, defeating him with assistance from Monica Rambeau. Afterward, Wakanda fends off the alien shapeshifters, the Skrulls, who had infiltrated as part of their secret invasion plan to conquer Earth. Prince Namor attempts to recruit T'Challa for the Cabal, a secret council of supervillains. Attacked by the forces of fellow Cabal member Dr. Doom, T'Challa is left comatose. His sister Shuri is trained as the next Panther, with the mantle passing on to her officially after T'Challa awakens from his coma and attempts to recover from his injuries. In the aftermath, T'Challa loses all of his enhanced attributes given to him by being the Panther Totem. As a result, he works with his sorcerer, Zawavari, to accumulate a replacement. He has since made a pact with another unknown Panther deity, returning his attributes to an even higher level as well as placing incantations on his body, making himself highly resistant to most magic and mystic assaults. This has all been done in preparation for the imminent battle with Doctor Doom, which culminated in T'Challa rendering all of the processed vibranium inert to give his people a chance to rebuild without their dependence on the element. The Man Without Fear. After the events of Daredevil asks T'Challa to replace him as Guardian of Hell's Kitchen, which gives T'Challa a chance to discover himself. With the help of Foggy Nelson, T'Challa assumes the identity of Mr. Okonkwo, an immigrant from the Congo and manager of a diner called Devil's Kitchen, so that he can blend in and learn about the denizens as ordinary man. He gets on well with two of the kitchen staff, Sofia, a migrant from Serbia who was formerly involved in violent Serbian nationalism, and the busboy, Brian. He also gets to know some of the neighbors from his apartment block, Mr. Nantakan, and his son Alec, as well as Iris, a social worker assigned to handle cases of child abuse. T'Challa finds himself up against an ambitious new crime lord, Vlad Dinu, who styles himself the Impaler. He also seeks an understanding with the police through Detective Alex Kurtz. During an attempt by Vlad to terminate the Panther, Brian from the Devil's Kitchen is seriously injured by an energy blast from Vlad, and is reported dead. The conflict between Vlad and the Panther becomes more personal, especially after Vlad discovers the Panther over his wife Angela dead from a gunshot wound. T'Challa learns that Iris was the serial shooter who killed abusers of children. Gabe was abused secretly by Angela. Brian was kidnapped by his doctor, Dr. Holman, at the behest of Nikolai, who wanted to use someone who received a dose of Vlad's power. After being subjected to torturous experiments, Brian lost the ability to think for himself, but was rescued by Gabe, who also stole the serum produced from the experiment meant to endow the recipient with Vlad's powers. The Panther obtains evidence of Vlad Dinus' crimes as well as clues to Iris as the serial shooter, and turns the evidence over to Kurtz. Vlad kills his own son Nikolai before being subdued by the Panther. Gabe is arrested for attempting to take Iris's life. Before being taken away, Gabe reveals to the Panther Brian's fate. Though aware of the Panther's identity as Mr. Okonkwo, both Iris and Sophia promise to keep silent. Wakanda again. Shortly after Daredevil returns to Hell's Kitchen, T'Challa returns to Wakanda, serving as a second to his sister, Shuri, in preparation for an upcoming attack on Wakanda as part of the Avengers vs. X-Men storyline. The Panther God returns T'Challa's abilities. Empowered by the Phoenix, Namor destroys Wakanda with a massive tidal wave. Returning to help, Storm is stunned when the Panther informs her that their marriage has been annulled. Incursions. After witnessing an alternate Earth over Wakanda being destroyed by the Black Swan, T'Challa reforms the Illuminati, with Beast replacing the now-deceased Charles Xavier, to confront the threat of the Incursions. Parallel universes colliding with each other to the destruction of both. Although able to avert one incursion with the Infinity Gauntlet, the subsequent destruction of the Infinity Gems forces the group to decide to resort to more questionable measures to protect Earth from future incursions, wiping Captain America's mind so that he won't remember these events, allowing them to do what needs to be done. Although equipped with planet-destroying weapons to protect Earth, the Illuminati mostly become disgusted with the wholesale slaughter, until Namor breaks off from the group to form a new cabal of villains to do what the heroes won't. Despite Namor's cabal achieving legitimacy as Earth's protectors, Namor grew weary of the wholesale slaughter they carried out in the name of preserving their universe. Although he collaborated with the Illuminati in a plan to destroy the Cabal by trapping them on the next Earth to be destroyed, Black Panther and Black Bolt left him behind to die with the Cabal. Disgusted at his earlier actions, although Namor and the Cabal escape to the Ultimate Universe, when the other Earth has a simultaneous incursion. Secret Wars. When the final incursion occurs during the Secret Wars storyline, resulting in all realities collapsing into one Earth, Black Panther is one of the few heroes to survive the incursion in a specially designed life pod. Other survivors, including Mr. Fantastic, Star-Lord, Spider-Man, the new Thor, Captain Marvel, and a Phoenix-enhanced Cyclops, although they are only released into the New World after an 8-year stasis. Retrieved by Doctor Strange, they learn that Strange has assumed a role of sheriff to Doctor Doom, who has appointed himself the god of the new battle world, created from the multiple realities. Although Doom effortlessly kills Cyclops, Strange protects the other heroes by dispersing them across Battleworld, with T'Challa and Namor eventually discovering a new version of the Infinity Gauntlet that Strange collected, ensuring that the gems he found would work in the location where Doom built his main fortress. Recruiting the residents of the Deadlands as an army, T'Challa marches on Doom, at the same time as multiple other areas rebel against him through the encouragement of the heroes, but admits, when Doom confronts him, that he was only intended as a distraction while Reed targets Doom's power source. As Reed takes Doom's power and sets out to rebuild the multiverse, T'Challa uses the Time Gem to take himself back to Wakanda before the incursions, proclaiming to his people that they will lead the way to the stars and explore new ideas. Civil War II. During the Civil War II storyline, Black Panther represents Wakanda on the Alpha Flight Space Program's Board of Governors. Marvel Now. During the Monsters Unleashed storyline, Black Panther and Shuri are shown taking part in the fight against the Leviathan Tide. They were shown defending Wakanda from a thick-skinned Leviathan. Powers and abilities. The title, Black Panther, is a rank of office, chieftain of the Wakandan Panther clan. As chieftain, the Panther is entitled to eat a special heart-shaped herb which, in addition to his mystical connection with the Wakandan Panther god, grants him superhumanly acute senses, enhanced strength, speed, agility, stamina, durability, healing, and reflexes. He has since lost this connection, and forged a new one with another unknown Panther deity, granting him augmented physical attributes as well as a resistance to magic. His senses are so powerful that he can pick up a prey scent and memorize tens of thousands of individual ones. Following his war with Doom, T'Challa loses his enhanced abilities only to once again establish a connection with the Panther god. In addition to the resurgence of his now superhuman abilities, he is anointed King of the Dead, granting him the power and knowledge of all the past Black Panthers as well as the ability to control the undead. T'Challa worked with his sorcerer, Zawivari, to endow T'Challa with immunity to mystical attacks and detection in order to defeat Doctor Doom. When T'Challa's alchemical upgrade was tested by means of Wakanda's most powerful acolytes attacking T'Challa in unison, each mystical attack was absorbed and only served to strengthen T'Challa. During these preparations, T'Challa invented a potent mystical, scientific hybrid art called shadow physics, and was able to use it to craft shadow weapons and to track vibranium on a quantum level. As King of Wakanda, the Panther has access to a vast collection of magical artifacts, advanced Wakandan technological and military hardware, as well as the support of his nation's wide array of scientists, warriors, and mystics. The Wakandan military has been described as one of the most powerful on Earth. His attire is the sacred vibranium costume of the Wakandan Panther cult. He is a skilled hunter, tracker, strategist, politician, inventor, and scientist. He has a Ph.D. in physics from Oxford University. Considered one of the 8 smartest people on the planet, he is a genius in physics and advanced technology, and is a brilliant inventor. He also has been granted the strength and knowledge of every past Black Panther. T'Challa is a rigorously trained gymnast and acrobat, and is a master in various African martial arts as well as contemporary martial arts and fighting styles that belong to no known disciplines. The chieftain of the Wakandan Panther clan is one of the wealthiest people in the world, though financial estimates are difficult given Wakanda's isolation from the world's economy, and the uncertain value of Wakanda's vast vibranium reserves and extremely advanced technologies. In Black Panther Volume 3, writer Christopher Priest expanded the Panther's day-to-day arsenal to include equipment such as an energy dagger, a vibranium weave suit, and a portable supercomputer, the Kimoyo card. In Black Panther Volume 4, writer Reginald Hudlin introduced such specialized equipment as Thrice Blessed Armor and Light Armor for specific tasks, and for a short while outfitted him with the ebony blade of the Black Knight. Allies. T'Chaka, T'Challa's father in the previous Black Panther and King of Wakanda. He was killed by Ulysses Claw. Ramonda, T'Challa's caring stepmother and the biological mother of Shuri. Monica Lynn, a singer who saved T'Challa from drowning after being bested by Killmonger, his longest love interest, whom he pledged eternal devotion towards. Everett K. Ross, a U.S. State Department employee, whose job was to escort foreign diplomats on American soil. His world changed forever when he was assigned to T'Challa, the Black Panther, the ruler of Wakanda. Shuri, T'Challa's sister, she has taken up the role of Black Panther, and is current ruler of Wakanda after T'Challa was badly injured by Dr. Doom. Nagasi, advisor to T'Challa, acting regent when he goes away on missions. Okoye, one of the former Dora Milaje, a ceremonial betrothed bodyguard of T'Challa. Okoye is of the Jakuwali tribe and acted as a traditional, proper concomitant to the king, speaking only to the king and only in Hausa, an African dialect not widely spoken in Wakanda, and thus affording the king and his wives a measure of privacy. Queen Divine Justice, the street-smart queen of the Jabari tribe of Wakanda raised in Chicago, and former Dora Milaje of T'Challa. She originally went by the name Chante Giovanni Brown. Storm, Ororo Icardi T'Challa, a member of the X-Men mutant team, and mother of Azari. She was the Black Panther's wife and queen of Wakanda. Wabi, T'Challa's competent second-in-command, completely loyal to his liege. Zuri, a grumpy and gigantic elderly warrior, a close friend of the late T'Chaka, and one of T'Challa's most trusted advisors. Azari, son of Black Panther and Storm, and future Black Panther Mubaru, was a Wakandan cabinet member who represented the mountain tribes. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe below. Please like and subscribe below.